Hello citizens, how is it going? And welcome to our match preview for Manchester City against Tottenham on Saturday. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons if you're just joining us, and let's jump into it. So yeah, this one's quite an interesting game for me. I mean, first off, we got to look at our last couple of games. Of course, we beat God, who do we beat in the Champions League? We beat someone in the Champions League 4-0 anyway. Sevilla. We beat Sevilla 4-0 away from home. And that game, you know, it pretty much went how we expected. I mean, we dominated the ball, we dominated possession, and we took the game to them, as you'd expect. And before the game, I was saying we should score 3, we should score 4, and we should win by those margins too. And we got a clean sheet, which is also nice. And one of the important things about that clean sheet as well is that we saw Akanji come in and he played at centre-half with Diaz, and I thought they both played really well together. Now, of course, Stones is going to pick up a lot of injuries through the season. Ake I really like, but Pep doesn't seem to want to start me most games, and Laporte is usually our first choice centre-back along with Diaz, so it's good to have another one there. And City have already said that we're not going to let a centre-half go this season, so he's another one to add to the list, and he looks like a quality signing. He's good on the ball, and he was pretty good defensively too. He was quite calm. He was passing it out. He wasn't scared of the press. So well done to the City team as well. And another player we saw start against Sevilla was Gomez on the left hand side. I thought in the first half he didn't look great in the first half. I'm not going to lie to you. Maybe nerves got a better of him. I don't really know, but I thought he was a little bit off. But in the second half, he grew into it more, and I think the more we have the ball and the more he is going forward, we're going to see the best of him then. He's a bit like Zinchenko and Cancelo in that regards. The better going forward than they are going backwards. So yeah, I was really happy with those two. And so we didn't really learn anything else from Sevilla. I mean, Haaland got his 2 goals, standard. The only disappointing thing for me was that Alvarez didn't start. But that being said, you know, whoever you start in the front three, we were always going to win that game, really. Sevilla hadn't won this season. They've now lost 4 of the first 5 games. So we should be winning that. We should be winning it quite comfortably. So no surprises. But we didn't let a surprise happen. And that's one of the things we've got to be happy about. Now, in the Premier League, of course, we're unbeaten. And I should say as well that Tottenham are unbeaten. We're on the same amount of points. We've won the same. We've drawn the same. And yeah, neither of us have lost. The only difference is we've scored 20 goals and they've scored 12. And those 20 goals are mainly coming from Haaland. I mean, is he on 9 for the league? So, you know, Haaland's the big threat. And this game, I think a lot of the conversation is going to be about Kane against Haaland. I think it's only natural. We did try and sign Kane last summer. You know, he wanted to come by all accounts, and City were refusing to pay whatever Tottenham were asking for, whether it's 150, 200 million, who knows. But we were after Kane, it was no secret, and I thought we would let that happen for a bit too long. Maybe City were in the market for Kane and they let it drag on, because we like to get our business done early, and if someone says no, we just leave it at that. But it seemed to drag on awesome, and I think one of the reasons it dragged on like that is, I think, because City knew they had Haaland coming the next season, or we're going to go for Haaland the next season. So I think they always had that option, and they always had that in mind. So I think really maybe City weren't 100% committed in signing Kane last summer. It's hard to say, but I'd say that. So yeah, this game's all about Kane and Haaland, but if we look at our games between Tottenham last season, we got absolutely tore apart at the Etihad. Now, stats-wise, I've got the stats here. Of course, we got beat 3-2, and it was that Harry Kane 95th minute winner, or whatever it was. But it was a weird game, because even in February, we knew we couldn't really drop points to Liverpool. And it turned out the case as well, because we had to go on a big winning run, and we had to come back a few times from 2 goals down. And this is one of those games where we've absolutely dominated. We had 21 shots to Tottenham's 6. They only had 6 shots, but 4 of those shots were clear-cut chances, and 5 of those shots were on target. And also 4 of those shots were in the box. So they had 6 shots, 4 in the box, 5 on target. And the big danger for us is that we're going to let that happen again, because Tottenham in the games this season so far, you know, they've had some decent results, but they pretty much dominate possession from the off. You know, they're creating a lot of chances, but they're also giving a lot of chances away. I think I saw earlier in their Nottingham Forest game, whatever it was, they had 18 shots, and the opposition had 17. So they do give you a lot of chances, Tottenham. They won't stop shots at goal. And of course, we got Haaland up front. I'm expecting him to start. And if Haaland's up front, you expect him to score. If he has at least 18 touches in the match, he's going to score one. So, I mean, it only takes him something like 12 or 13 touches to score a goal. So Haaland will have chances. We will create those chances. Tottenham are not going to stop that. What I expect from Tottenham is for them to sit a little bit deeper against us and hit us on the counter-attack, because they did it to wonderful effect last season, and it worked. It works. Basically, it works against us pretty much every time. Palace did it in the first half. We saw... who else? Newcastle did it as well. So we are vulnerable on the counter-attack. And the way Pep's pushing his fullbacks into the middle, you know, with Walker or Cancelo or Gomez, Cancelo, whoever plays there, we are vulnerable with pace. And if you get it out wide, because we're playing more narrow with the fullbacks cutting in, it gives these wide players a chance. And you look at Tottenham's wide players, they've got Kulusevski, who I really rate. They've got Son, who I think is probably their best player. I rate him over Kane. Kane scores all the goals, but I love Son. I think he's incredible. And last summer, the thing that got me is that we were trying so hard for Kane. I would have gone for Son, personally. I think I would have. I think I would have liked to see Son in the City shirt, because I think Son on this wing with us, oh, it'd be lethal. So yeah, you look at the two wide men, and of course, we've got Richarlison now as well, who scored his first goals for Tottenham the other day against Marseille in the Champions League. Tottenham are a threat, and they will do exactly, I'm expecting them to do exactly what they did to us at the Etihad last season. Sit back, hit us on the counter, and every time they get across the halfway line, they're going to create a chance, they're going to create an opportunity. Kane doesn't really miss many, Son won't miss many. It's going to be a good battle in defence, and whoever we play at the back, they're going to have to sort it out. Now, Walker is a doubt. He was injured for the Sevilla game. He didn't travel. Hopefully, he's going to be back for Tottenham. Now, I have been a bit critical of Walker this season so far. I think he started quite slow. I've criticised him because he doesn't like to jump. You know, he doesn't like to challenge in the air. And one of the goals that I think Kane's winner last season was against Walker in the air. He just completely outmuscled him. But what Walker does is he gives us pace. We don't have much pace at the back, and for Walker's our big pace merchant. He's the one we need cutting back and defending. So I think we do need him against Tottenham, against Son, Kulusevski and Kane. I think we do need him. But then again, if Pep plays him in the middle and he wants him to press more forward, there's times when Walker or Cancelo will be our furthest forward because they've done the overlap or they're trying to create that chance now. And again, if they hit us on the break, it's dangerous. So I wouldn't play that if I was Pep. I wouldn't sit them back in middle. I would use them as actual fullbacks like we did last season. Use them more out wide than in the middle against Tottenham. Of course, Pep's probably not going to do that, but that's what I would do. Of course, you're trying to balance it because you expect City to have most of the ball, and I do expect City to have most of the ball. I think City will dominate possession. You know, they'll have at least 60, 65% possession going into this match. And you have to say that, you know, with all that possession, it makes sense why we're pushing the fullbacks into the middle. But against these teams, against Tottenham, against United, against Liverpool, the top, you know, the teams at the top who are going to hit you a counter on with pace, I don't think you should be doing that. Really, I don't. I think you've got to be a bit more balanced. And talking about balance going into midfield, Gundogan, does he start alongside De Bruyne? I'd be surprised if he plays Gundogan and De Bruyne in this game. You know, those two really work well together against teams like Nottingham Forest, against Bournemouth, where you're going to dominate, where they're not going to create many chances, if any. And you're just going to be camped in their final third. Tottenham is going to be fought in the middle. It's going to be fought on the halfway line. And I don't see Gundogan and De Bruyne, who both like to go forward, who both like to create chances and leave the defending to the defence and to Rodri. I don't see it working out for us there. I think we need a bit more midfield. We need we need someone to go between the lines, go backwards and forwards more than those two will. And for that, I think we have to stick Bernardo in that role. This season so far, Bernardo's been mainly played on the right wing. He's scoring goals there. He's doing well. I really do. Other than the Aston Villa game, where I thought Luca Dean had his number all game, and I thought he was out battled, he was outworked. And I actually think Bernardo was, you know, he was pretty much contained against Villa. But that's not on Bernardo. I mean, I thought Bernardo should have got into the middle. I thought Pep had time to make the change. But of course, he only made the two subs, and Bernardo was one of them that went off. But I'd play Bernardo in that role in midfield. Either him or Alvarez. I'd play one of the two there. Because Alvarez obviously is quick. He can get back and defend. He's going to create chances. And he does link up with the forwards quite well. He's got a nice touch on him. and he is a goal threat. So if Pep wants the best of both worlds, I think you play Alvarez there. If you want someone to just break up play and do the dirty run in between and the defense and the midfield and the forwards, you put Bernardo there. But of course, I'd expect De Bruyne to start. But I don't see Gundogan starting this game. Maybe coming off in the second half with chasing a game. But other than that, I don't think you can play Gundo and De Bruyne both in this game. Going forward, it's funny for me this, because I think if you look at our front three, I think Foden's having a poor season so far. You know, he's got a goal the other night against Sevilla. It was a good goal as well. I thought maybe he touched the ball too many times. You know, he kept hold of it too long. But in the end, he got his shot away and he finds the back of the net. And the one thing about Phil, and Pep said it in his post-match press conference afterward, is that he's had a pretty poor start to the season. He's not been his best form. But what he does give is a lot of running. He never drops work rate. You know, and that's one of the things about this team as well. Whenever you say that, you know, Gundogan, De Bruyne, Bernardo, Foden, whoever it is having a bad game, the work rate, you can't really fault. And I really like that about this team, that they really do fight for everything. And you've seen that in the last couple of months of last season and the first month of this season, when we've had to come from 2 goals down. The work rate is there, the effort is there. They're still hungry, this team. They still want to win trophies, they still want to win the Premier League, and it's nice to see, considering we've won it the last 2 years and they've won it 4 out of 5. They're still hungry. They still want to win everything. And I think that's a lot to do with the personnel we're bringing in. Because if you look at Haaland up front, I've said it this season so a couple of times already, is that if Haaland, you can see it in person, the way he's yelling at everyone, the way he's pointing. Even when he presses, I mean, it doesn't look like he's pressing full speed, but when he does go forward and he is pressing the defence or he's pressing the keeper, he's telling everyone else to push forward with him, and he does have a go at them when they don't do it. Haaland wants that trophy. You know, he wants to win games. He wants to score. More than anything, he wants to score, but he also wants to win trophies too. And whoever he plays with, you know, he's pushing them further forward. And I've seen it already. He's only been there a month, and he's already yelling at De Bruyne. He's already yelling at Gundogan. He doesn't care who he's yelling at. He's demanding more from the players. And that's one of the big things for us this season, is that it's helping us drive us forward, and it's helping us, you know, keep us hungry and wanting trophies. And whoever he's with on the wings, I would play Foden on the left, despite the fact I said he had a slow start to the season. I would play him there. It's the right side for me. That's our issue. Because when Mahrez isn't on form, and Mahrez for me, I think it's probably time he goes at the end of this season. I really do. I think it's time he moves on, and we let Alvarez move to the right long term, or we brings, you know, Palmer in more on that right hand side. But the right hand side is probably our weakest of the front three. So it's an interesting one who he puts. Then, like I said, I wouldn't put Bernardo there because I think we need him in midfield. And if we put Bernardo in midfield, you put Alvarez on the right. For me, that makes sense. Alvarez on the right, Foden on the left, Haaland up front. You got 3 young players, 3 hungry players. You got 2 of them who are, you know, City fans from being, well, childhood City fans. And you got the other one who is a real talent and reminds us all a lot like Aguero. He's got right foot, left foot. You know, he's not afraid to jump either. And he's got the work rate and the mentality. So for me, front 3 going forward, long term, it's them. Would I like to see it in this game? Yeah, why not? Give it a go. I mean, you know, worst thing that's going to happen in this game is we get beat, and it's only going to be our first defeat this season. We're going to bounce back. We've already got 14 points on the board. We're doing well. So that's, as far as team goes, that's it. Defensively, like I said, if Walker's out, it's going to be Cancelo on the right, which probably means Ake or Gomez on the left. I'm thinking he's probably going to bring in Ake on the left, since Gomez did have a pretty poor game against Sevilla in that first half. I don't think he was too impressed with him. So Ake on the left, middle. I mean, that leaves Akanji and Diaz, and I think that'd be a good partnership because they look pretty decent in Sevilla, even though he'd only had, a day to train, Akanji, when he came in. So, yeah, I mean, that's going to be our team, I think, against Tottenham. And like I said, Tottenham's big threat is their counter-attack, is their pace. Once you start opening the game, or once you start spreading the play, they will hurt you. Because Tottenham, when they're stuck against teams like West Ham, when they're, you know, Fulham, where they're so compact and they're defensive-minded, Tottenham don't really, they create a lot of chances, but they don't really break you down often, you know, and they won't hurt you as much. But a team like us, who will try and open up and who will play on the halfway line, they're devastating when they go forward. Yeah, devastating. Why do I want Mahrez out the squad? I think Mahrez is Honestly, I think it's time for him to go. To be honest, I think it's time for the young blood. I think it's time for youth. Give him a go. Alvarez, Foden, Haaland. I think that's the future. What are they all? 22, 23. Mahrez is just time for him to move on. He's been good, but you know, even Pep thinks it. If you look at Mahrez, he's not even starting games. He's not even coming off the bench that often either. And when he does come off the bench, it's like 15, 20 minutes. I think Pep knows that, you know, he wants to refresh the squad. I mean, sooner or later, we're going to have to do with Gundogan. We're going to have to do with De Bruyne. They're what, mid-30s coming up. So it's going to be time for them to move on soon as well. The big fear is, who do you replace De Bruyne with? Who do you replace Gundogan with? Because Gundogan, even though he doesn't play every game, he doesn't play every 90 minutes, he's such an important character to us. He scores important goals. He comes on important games. He does well, Gundogan. And he's a big moment player for us, but I was surprised we kept him, if I'm honest. I thought he would have gone this summer just past. So to make him captain, it's like Fernandinho made him captain at the end. Gundogan captain. Who do we replace these with going forward? And Mahrez, I think it's time for him to go. It was the same time for Sterling. Sterling needed to go. Even though he's just reaching his peak in his career, really, he needed to go. Sané, he needed to go. It's no harm on them. Mahrez is not more special than any of them. So it's just one of those things. It's time. And Aguero as well, our greatest goal scorer. It's time for him to go, and the club made the right decision in letting him go. He wanted to stay. We said no, and look at him. Unfortunately, he had that heart condition which made him retire. Everyone passes on. And if you look at our squad, they're all quite young. We brought in Phillips as well. He's going to be there for a few years. He's going to be back up to Rodri. He's going to prolong his career. Because, well, Phillips picks up a lot of injuries, doesn't he? So our big club revamp, our big squad revamp, it's youth. And look at the team. Look at the, Walker. It's going to be his time to go soon as well. And the club are doing it in stages, doing it in years. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, what I was saying about Tottenham was, if you look at their counter-attack last season, again, if you look at our match reaction from last season, the Tottenham game when we got beat 3-2, I was fuming. It took me 2 hours to walk there, 2 hours to walk back. I watched a load of drivel. And one of the things I said at the game, we got the 2-2. We went 2-2 with Mahrez's penalty. We pulled it back. It was 91st minute or something. He scores in an injury time. It's 2-2. And I'm saying, just play for the point. Just accept the point. Don't go for the win. Because as soon as Mahrez put that penalty in, the City players rushed the ball. They wanted it. They took it back to the halfway line and they were ready to go for the third. And I know Pep always says, play with courage. Be prepared to lose the ball. Don't worry about it. And that's what happened. Cancelo had it. I think it was Cancelo on the left-hand side. I think he took his eyes off the ball, if I remember rightly, because I was right above it. Took his eyes off the ball. Let's go for a throw-in. So he made a mistake. They take the quick throw, counter, 3-2. And we lost that because we chased the win. Now, you can argue all day about whether you should be chasing the win there or not, but I'd taken the point there because we'd not had the best games. They'd been in front twice. We pulled it back twice. We equalised an injury time to Mahrez's penalty. And unfortunately, that was... we pushed for it and we got hurt. And if we do the same again, you look at the Champions League as well, when Poch was there, did the same thing. We were chasing the game right from the beginning. They just kept hurting us every time we were spreading the play, every time we were expanding the pitch. And we can't do that in this one. We've got to be a bit more controlled, a bit more compact, particularly defensively. Because I am worried about their front three. I think they've probably got the best after us. I worry about their front three more. I don't worry about Liverpool's front three so much because I know what they're going to do. They're going to keep our wide hitters on the counter, and I think we can contain Liverpool. I think we've learned to do that in the last couple of games. But Tottenham, we just don't seem to be learning. We just get hurt by them. We need to do that. But yeah, I think it's going to be a good game. I am going to be at the game as well, so hopefully we do a little bit better this time. Would I take a point? Yeah, I think I'd take a point. If I'm honest with you, I think I would. And just in summary as well, I do think the big talk is going to be about Haaland and Kane. That's how everyone's going to be talking about, building up to it. It's going to be who's better. I would say Kane is the better player. I would. But I would take Haaland. I would choose Haaland over Kane. But I think Kane's the better player. I just think Haaland's obviously, he's going to be a better player in the future than Kane is. But other than that, it's just 50-50 between them right now, isn't it? I mean, I would have them both from a fantasy team if I could afford it, but I can't. I've only got Haaland like everyone else. Although I've not captained them this week. Brave. And yeah, that's my. I don't know what you are thinking about the match against Tottenham. Whether you just carry on playing the same we have done so far, if you try and be a bit more compact, or who you would start. But yeah, it's been good. It is a big game, and like I said, I don't think losing is the biggest. It's only a few games into the season. It doesn't really matter. What is it, our 7th game of the season? Something like that. If we win, great. I think if we win, it sets a massive statement. I don't know, Tommy, to be honest. Tottenham, I mean, if you look at last season, I think what was the last team we got beat by was Tottenham, wasn't it? I think in the league. Was it? Last team we got beat by was Tottenham. And the last game we lost away from home was Tottenham. They always do us. And it's their front three that they're really good. And that Kulusevski has really impressed me since he came. I think Son's their best player, but Kulusevski, he's really good. And they got Richarlison now. And I tell you what, if Richarlison comes on late on, I don't think he'll start. But if Richarlison came on and it was like 2-2 or something, you know he's going to get stuck in. You know he's going to just bully the defenders and he's going to be, you know, Mr. Big Man. And you can just see it, can't you? You can just see someone getting irate or a few bookings. It's just going to be a feisty game. That's the thing about Tottenham. It's always feisty. The fans hate each other. It's great. But the amount every time I go to Etihad against Tottenham, I think when I first got the season ticket in this seat, when we played Tottenham, they did us 2-1 or something. Kane penalty, something like that. Oh man, mental. I think I was in a 93 20 seats then. Tottenham are an absolute bogey team forward. But you can argue the same for us, for them, because, I mean, we've had some pretty decent results over the years, but in recent seasons, they just seem to turn up against us. Like, they forget their Spurs and just play. I think we can do him, but I would take a point before kickoff. I really would. I really would take a point. I think anything but defeat's a good result. Even if we absolutely dominate them, and even if we restrict them to 6 shots like they had last season, because you're looking at 21 shots to their 6. They had 30-odd% possession. And they still win 3-2. And it's the same if you look at teams against, like when we've had games against Wolves, when they've done us, Leeds, when they've done us at the Etihad, Palace, when they've done us. We fall into the same trap every single time. We push up, we try and play for the win, and we get hit on the counter. And that's one of the things we've not stopped. I thought we'd fix that last season, because if you look at the 2 Liverpool games, I thought we handled the counter-attacks pretty well. Yeah, Liverpool only had a few chances at the Etihad, and they scored 2 goals. And we should have won that game. We should have absolutely won that game. It was in Mahrez with that last chance at the end. We should have won it. But we've got to learn eventually. And I think we need to sign more pacey defenders. Pacey fullbacks is what we need. If Gomez was a little bit quicker, if Cancelo was a little bit quicker, it would be a lethal team. And I think we would have won the Champions League already if we had quicker fullbacks and ones that could defend. But yeah, that's my match preview for Tottenham. Like I said, it's going to be a good game. I am going to be there. Let me know if you're going there as well. And if you haven't already, unless I've upset you about Mahrez, hit the like button. And hit subscribe if you haven't either. But yeah, thanks for joining. Thanks for checking it out. And good luck to City going forward. Yeah, let me know your scores. Let me know what you think. And everyone have a great day. Thanks for joining. Thanks for checking out. This is our first live match preview as well. Nearly half an hour. That's a lot long. They're usually about 6 minutes. But yeah, I'll be hopefully doing them live from now on going forward anyway, and getting more people on the channel as well. I want to expand it a little bit. Get more fans in, get their say in, and get more opinions, because my opinion's always wrong. Have fun. Bye bye. And yeah, hit the like button.